If you grew up in the last 20 years, you've probably been hit with that question, so what do you want to be when you grow up? And when you were 8, you were like astronaut and singer and YouTuber and maybe a vet. Also, I like dinosaurs. And all the adults laughed and went, no, no, pick one. Fast forward to right now, and the internet is out here rewarding people who are exactly that chaotic mix. Coder plus designer plus marketer plus part-time meme lord. It's like the world looked at our short attention spans and said, actually, that might be useful. But there's still this old school idea floating around that to be successful, you have to lock into one thing, grind it for 30 years, and become the best in the world at it. So what's the move? Go ultra deep in one thing? Become that jack of all trades person? Or somehow do both without your brain exploding? To answer that, I want to start with maybe the wildest parenting story I've ever heard. Imagine you're a girl in your 20s. One day, you get this letter from a random dude that literally says, I want to marry you so we can have kids, and then I will train them to become the most successful people in the world. This will be my life experiment. Are you in? No, hey, how are you? No, what's your favorite movie? Just straight up sign this waiver, we're speed-running parenthood for science. That guy actually existed. His name was Laszlo Polgar. He was a Hungarian educational psychologist, and he was obsessed with one idea. Geniuses are made, not born. He genuinely believed that if you start with a normal, healthy kid and you design their life around focused practice in one field, you can manufacture a genius. Not hope, not maybe if they're gifted. He thought it was basically a recipe. The problem is, when he tried to tell people this in the 1960s, everyone thought he was completely unhinged. Back then, most people believed you're either born brilliant or you're not. Some government guy literally told him he should go see a psychiatrist. But Laszlo was locked in. He realized, no one's going to believe me unless I prove it, and I can't exactly borrow someone's kid for a 20-year experiment. So he decides, I'm going to test this on my future children. Hence the insane marriage letters. Eventually, one woman actually says yes. Her name was Clara. At first, she's like, this man is insane. But after a ton of conversations, she starts to believe in his idea too. They get married. In 1969, they have their first daughter, Susan. And now Laszlo has to pick the one thing, the single domain he's going to build this child's entire life around. No pressure. He thinks about things like art and writing, but those are kind of subjective. People can argue about what's good. He wants something where there's a scoreboard, wins and losses, zero debate. He lands on chess. Fun detail, he wasn't even some chess god himself. He just decided, all right, we're doing chess, and then went nerd mode. Read everything he could about how to teach it, how kids learn it, how champions train. They homeschool Susan, no regular school. Her childhood is basically books, family, and chess. Before she turns 4, he starts training her. At first, it's tiny, playful stuff. Puzzles, basic moves, turning the game into stories. Over time, it gets serious. By the time she's 5, she's already put in hundreds of hours of focused practice. Then he throws her into a local chess tournament. All the other girls are older, like double her age. Everyone is expecting this tiny kid to go home crying. She wipes the floor with them. Game after game, she just keeps winning. Ends the whole tournament with a perfect score. People watching were like, wow, she must have been born with this crazy gift for chess. And Laszlo is sitting there knowing, nah, this is what thousands of micro-reps look like. 2 more daughters come along, Sophia in 1974 and Judith in 1976. They grow up watching their dad train Susan, and obviously they want in. But he has a rule, no serious training until they're old enough to handle it. So he waits until they're about 5, too, then starts the same hardcore process with them. By the time these girls hit their teens, they've done more deliberate chess practice than most adults will do anything in their entire lives. The results are insane. At 12, Susan becomes world champion in her age category. She becomes one of the top women players on the planet and eventually earns the title of Grand Master, which is like boss level in chess.
Sophia becomes a top player too. At 14, she plays this brutal tournament in Rome where she destroys a bunch of elite grandmasters in a row. Grown men who have been grinding chess for decades are getting cooked by a teenager.
And Judith, the youngest, goes even further. She becomes the youngest grandmaster in history at the time, beating the previous record set by some dude named Bobby Fischer. She holds the title of world #1 female player for years and regularly beats top male players. So yeah, the experiment worked. What Laszlo did with his daughters is a perfect example of what people call an I-shaped learner. Picture the letter I. One long, straight line down. That's depth. You go absurdly deep into one skill set. Chess, piano, surgery, whatever. In the old-school industrial era, the world was built for I-shaped people. You got a job in a factory or a company, and your whole career was like tightening that one specific bolt, or drafting one specific type of contract, or doing one specialized task over and over. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman talks about this kind of expertise. He basically says if you have an environment that's stable and predictable, and you can practice the same thing repeatedly and get clear feedback, humans get really, really good at it. That was the formula. Pick one thing, do it for decades, get faster and better at that one thing, and the system rewards you. But then the world decided to speed-run chaos mode. Technology exploded, the internet showed up, jobs started changing every 5 minutes. Suddenly, just being the best at one narrow thing wasn't always enough. People started noticing that some of the biggest breakthroughs weren't actually coming from ultra-specialists. They were coming from people who knew one thing deeply, but also had a bunch of side interests they could mix together. That's where this idea of the T-shaped learner comes in. Imagine the letter T. The vertical line is your main thing. You're a legit expert there. But the horizontal line across the top is you knowing a little bit about a lot of other fields. Maybe not expert level, but enough to speak the language. Those side interests become like adapters. They let you plug ideas from one area into another and create something new.